Hello everyone, it is Pal Ponder on Weather coming to you with another video. I am so excited. Our first fall front is here and it's coming the second week of October. Before we do get started, if you do like weather related content, please consider subscribing to my channel as October is on the way and I plan on doing 5 videos a week in October as we have a lot to talk about. All right, so let's get started. So today we're going to talk about the much anticipated upcoming cool down. I know you guys have been extremely patient. September is one to remember, that is for sure. But if you look in the longer range teleconnections, if you were with me on Saturday, we went over the weekly update, but that took you all the way through Sunday of this week. And starting Monday, the second week of October, the teleconnections, all the stars align where you can kind of see that the NAO goes negative for the first time at this fall, but also the PNA goes positive. So when you match those up, that's the perfect combination. We'll finally get in that jet stream to dip and filter into the central and southern and eastern part of the United States. And you can kind of see the weather pattern that's kind of shaping up for not this week, but next week, the second week of October, where you do get that high building and that jet stream dipping. And this is kind of the pattern that I'm thinking it's going to play out for the winter months, where we're going to have that NAO go negative, the PNA go positive. And that's why I depicted in much of my winter outlooks some of the heavier snowfalls around this area. So there's going to be different storm tracks, but I think this is going to be one of the predominant ones where if the NNA is slow, it's going to slow down. So these aren't going to be quick hitters like they were last year. They're going to stay around for a couple of days, and that's going to allow the moisture to filter in and kind of get those overriding conditions. And eventually, this is only October, but the same pattern kind of sets the tone. The first fall front always sets the tone for the rest of the year because of the recurring cycle theory. So we'll be figuring out, when this next front comes in, and we'll have the number of days with the recurring cycle theory. And so right now, this first fall front is crucial and it kind of, like I said, sets the tone for the rest of the year. So if we look at the extended forecast and the precipitation for the next 6 to 10 days, it shows that system and the specific, given above average precipitation in parts of Texas and to the middle sections of the country. But I think we're finally, September's been extremely dry in the southeast and the southern United States. So we'll be watching the tropics on this, but it shows pretty good rainfalls for much of the United States, only this backside where you get that sinking air. Here's the temperatures for the next 8 to 14 days. And I honestly think this is a little bit overdone. I think this is going to be even colder than what it's displaying, but it has above average temperatures going into the second week of October. And like I said, I think a lot of that cold air is going to filter in, and this will change over time. So now let's talk about the temperatures. And this is the latest NAM coming up on Thursday. We'll start from Thursday because if you looked at my last video, it took you all the way to Sunday. But this is that first front. The second front's a lot stronger. But I use the NAM during the winter months because the cold air is shallow. And this is a short-term mesoscale model that has a better feel on winter weather. So it thinks it's going to be right around 80 degrees in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And as that front pushes in on the back side of it, these are high temperatures on Thursday, and the 40s in the Dakotas and much of Minnesota and Wisconsin. So you'll be feeling that fall front, and it's coming your way, and even into Pennsylvania parts in the mid 50s. So this is kind of a teaser because it is going to back up. So this is kind of a 1-2 punch. So it's going to come through on Thursday, hang around a tad bit on Friday, but then back up as a warm front. So, but that second front, by this time next Monday, that's when the true cold blast comes in. And these are, like I said, are high temperatures on Monday, and these are falling. So you can see 30s in much of Colorado and Wyoming and Montana and Idaho. So this is some pretty chilly air coming this way, and it's definitely going to feel like fall for much of the country, or at least the northern half. and even in Nebraska. So, like I said, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, finally, where we've had a record September, you're finally going to be experiencing some 70-degree high temperatures, if you're going to believe it. But again, that cold front is just on its way, so you're not going to see it too much in Houston yet, and much of the Southeast, and still experience 70s in parts of Pennsylvania. But by Tuesday morning, that cold air even filters in further, and you start seeing some teens showing up in the Colorado regions and some 20s in Wyoming and Montana and Idaho regions, where this cold air just even deepens and filters in. And much of the United States, 50s for lows in Texas. So that's going to be a welcome relief. I'm telling you, a lot of guys are out here they're just over it, you know. But still, like I said, this is going to be pushing into the Southeast, and it's not quite made it yet into Georgia and Mississippi and parts of Alabama and especially Florida and up in you guys at the East Coast. You got to be patient a little bit longer because it's coming your way, but it's not quite there yet. But if we go back to on Tuesday's highs, you're talking in the 60s. Now, I think this is a little bit overdone. I'm hoping we get some 60s here in Dallas, but I'm thinking still 70s. But this is the latest Euro model as of right now, and it's got, like I said, some pretty chilly air behind this front. You know, the average high now is 80 degrees in Dallas, to kind of give you an example. So, you know, we're going from 11 to 12 degrees above normal to 11 to 12 degrees below normal. So, but yeah, like I said, much of the country in Iowa, these are high temperatures, 50 degrees. That's going to feel good. All right. And the Illinois, Chicago, Indiana, even into Ohio, starting to get into the action. So, and like I said, the front's slowly trying to make it there, but this is 9-10 days out. I kind of stopped it from there because this looks like to hang around for much of the second week of October. And this is Wednesday morning, and this is kind of, I think we're going to bottom out, where we bottom out around 50 degrees in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and 30 showing up in Nebraska, parts of the Dakotas, up in Minnesota. So even some freezing temperatures in Minnesota. So some of you guys are going to experience the first freeze of the season, and even 20 showing up in Colorado. So this is much welcome relief cold air on the way. Even Missouri's going to get into the action in the 40s for lows. And Illinois, Idaho, Indiana, Ohio, and even down to the coast now. So parts of Louisiana in the 50s. Yes, that's some welcome cold air coming. Mississippi, Alabama, even parts of Georgia. So this extends all the way to the coast. We've extended to another frame. So you guys in Maine, where you're going to get that, the fall leaf peeping season coming up, you're finally going to get into the action, again, 10 days from now. But that'll kind of give you an idea. And this is a new segment we're going to actually start. It's called the POW Moment of the Day, where I share a pic or a comment from you, the viewer. So this weekend, if you saw, we had some incredible snows in Montana, and this is a picture from Browning, Montana, where you can't even see the house with these snow drifts. I mean, they had 4 feet of snow in Browning, Montana over the weekend, and these snow drifts are 10, 12 feet. I mean, it's like, where's my car? Where's the house? You can't even get out of the house when that stuff. And you can see it piling up over an 8-hour period. It was, this is 2 feet high at 8 a.m. By the time 8 hours later at 4 p.m., extremely heavy snow. It was already 4 feet high. So it was coming down in buckets on Saturday and Sunday in Montana. But here's a couple of viewers that I wanted to highlight. I had a special segment where they shared their favorite winter moment, and Charlie from Arizona chimed in with his favorite winter moment of last year, where they had that record snowfall in Flagstaff, and he lives up in Vail, Arizona, where he took out his snowmobiles and played in the snow, and they had snow literally for 24 hours straight. He couldn't believe it. 30 inches, so 2.5 feet of snow. So I appreciate Charlie sharing his favorite winter memory. And also Darzan up in Ontario, and he talked about his favorite weather memory was back in 2007 and 2008, where he lives in Ontario in Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, where they had 106 inches of snow that year. So we're going to be getting a lot of snow this year in Ontario, but maybe not quite 106, but it'll be enough to be a memorable winter for sure. So I appreciate both of you leaving your comments and sharing your favorite winter moment. And then I can also share somebody else on the next video. If you share your memory on the POW Weather Fan page on Facebook, or also even on my Instagram account, or if you don't have any of those, you can always email me at ponderonweather@gmail.com. All right. So, hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you did find value in this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, and definitely catch me at the next video where I protect you before and after the storm.